Hello, my name is Niall. I'm the owner at Paul's Fish Supplies. I am here today to do a short episode on dog food. What dog food do you buy? Why do you buy that dog food? Question I get asked quite often is, what dog food do you recommend? Now, what I prefer to do is give customers the information that I have inside my head and let customers make up their own mind about what they want to buy. This is just a video to basically give information. Most of it's based on research and trial and error and stuff that I've seen over the years working in the industry. Whenever you go into the likes of a pet shop or whenever you shop online, there's a huge range of dog food available, anything from super premiums all the way down to working dog brands. You could spend 80, 90 pound on a bag of dog food. You could spend £9 on a bag of dog food for the same size bag. What is the difference? Why do they cost so much different? Whenever you look at dog food, you've got two main types. You've got the likes of your normal, the super premium, and then you have your working dog. A lot of people would deem working dog to be the lower end of the market, and in most cases it can be. But why is that? Whenever you think about working dog food, you normally associate that with sort of higher energy foods with very poor meat content. But what I'm actually going to do today is analyse a range of different dog foods, from working dog foods all the way up to the super premiums. Some brands you'll recognise, some brands you might not recognise. These are just a splash in the ocean, and just to give you an idea of how to look at dog food, how to look at the bags, what information to look for, and how to break it down. Now, the reason why you buy the particular dog food that you buy could be numerous. Could be down to price, could be down to the fact that somebody recommended it, friend, family member. Maybe you went into the pet shop and they turn around and says to you, oh, this is the dog food you have to go for. Maybe your dog has an intolerance. Intolerances is another thing that we maybe could touch on in another episode of. There's enough views there that want another episode. But today we're just going to do basically a general analysis on dog food and what's in it and how to read it and what each of the things mean whenever it says inside of it, because I know there's a lot of foods out there that use a lot of basically garbage to explain something that's very simple. Normally the more expensive bag you get, the more crap they put in the back of it to try and confuse you into thinking that it's something special when maybe it's not. Whenever you're looking at dog food, and dogs in particular, dogs have 6 main nutrient groups: water, protein, fat, carbs, minerals and vitamins. And before some people blow their gaskets out there and turn around and go, dogs shouldn't have carbs and all this here carry on, dogs are not necessarily, they don't necessarily need carbs, but carbs are easily digested source of energy, and that's why they are used in dog foods. No, they don't need it, but the way things have been accustomed and the way dogs have changed and the diets have changed over the years, carbs has been introduced for a very long time and they are used to having it. A lot of people are saying that this is the reason why dogs are getting sick and stuff like that there, but in my opinion it's all just witch hunting. A lot of people will turn around and go, well, if you're spending £9 on a bag of dog food, then there's probably nothing useful in it, and there's probably meatless, questionable source in it and stuff like that there. But in the UK, the Food Standards Agency are the ones that run everything in regards to what you can have and what you can't have in dog food. And they're quite strict on it. Basically, dog food, the meat that goes into dog food, has to come from human grade meat, but it's basically what's left over after all the human stuff's taken out of it. So it would normally be consumed within the UK market. Now I say UK market because some of the European brands are slightly different. What's consumed within the UK market is taken off, and whatever's left is put into or can be used for dog food. There's diseased or dead animals put into the whole thing. Um, so first thing you're going to do whenever you're looking at dog food, you want to find out what exactly is in the bag. Now with dog food, there's two main types. There's wet food, there's dry food, and a lot of people are saying that you shouldn't feed wet, and a lot of people are saying you shouldn't feed dry. But in my personal opinion, if your dog's eating it and they're doing well on it, why change it? You're at the end of the day, you're only going to upset their balance. If it's not broke, don't fix it. But the main thing to bear in mind is the fact that wet food, in most cases, not all cases, in most cases, is normally around 70 to 80% water, and even your dry food contain a certain amount of moisture. It could be anywhere between 5 and 10%. So there is water or moisture in each of the types of dog foods that you're going to get. Just the levels of water actually varies. Whenever you're looking at the ingredient list, which is on every bag of dog food, it has to legally be on the bag of dog food. Now, what they put on that ingredient list, this is where it varies. They're very loose about exactly what you have to put on and what way you have to put it on. But with dog food, the ingredient list goes an awful lot like human food. So whenever you're looking at an ingredient list on the side or the back of a packaging, then it goes by weight in the bag as fed. So whatever the first ingredient is, that's the highest concentrate in that bag. So if the first ingredient list is dehydrated chicken, then that is what's mostly in the bag, by weight. Now I say by weight because meat contains a certain amount of moisture, so that moisture might make it heavier, so that might override something. But if you look at it, one of the main things you're probably looking for is your meat content. And if the meat content is one of the things that the company wants to sort of promote as being in their food, it's either going to be on the front of the bag, or they're going to mark some kind of percentage on the ingredient list to tell you how much meat's in that bag. If they use umbrella terms like meat and animal derivatives or cereals instead of naming maize or wheat, the reason, it's quite cunning way they do this here. There's one or two reasons why they'll do this. One is the fact that the recipe could change or vary from bag to bag, so they can't guarantee what's actually in the bag. Or two, they don't want to tell you what's in the bag, because if they did tell you exactly what's in the bag, it might put you off from buying it. Scary, but true. The other thing you look at on the side of the bag is the analytical constituents. They legally have to put on them anyway. They have protein, fat, fibres, and ash. Ash is one of them things that sort of confuses a lot of people because it's on the side of the bag, but whenever you think of ash, you automatically think of burnt. But basically what ash is broken down to is the measure of the mineral content. That's what ash means. So if you're looking to know what kind of mineral content's actually in the bag as a percentage of the whole bag, that's the one you're looking at, is ash. The other thing you can figure out from a bag of dog food is the carb level. Once you look at the analytical constituents, then basically if you add up all them percentages of the protein, fat, fibres and ash, whatever's left over technically should be your carb level. So it'll tell you then what percentage of the bag is actually carbs. Surprising actually whenever you look at it. I'll do a few examples here of what it breaks down to. And the other thing you can go by, or another good measure of it, is actually the feeding. Normally you'd expect the sort of the super premiums, you'd be feeding them an awful lot less than you'd be feeding, say, in the working dog foods. And basically if you're feeding less, and the bag's going to last you longer. If it's the same size bag, say for example with the working dog, if you're feeding them 300 grams a day, and then for the same size dog, in the super premium, you were feeding them 150 grams, then the bag is going to last you, the super premium one technically should last you twice as long. Doesn't actually always work out that way. It's all about state of mind. Um, but if I just grab one of these bags, then you'll see what I'm talking about. Say, for example, Red Mull's Leader. The main ingredient is dehydrated chicken, 26%, then brown rice, white rice, chicken fat. Now, Leader would be deemed as a super premium. If you look at Royal Canin, a lot of you probably recognise this brand. They have it in something like 20 languages in the bag of it. But if you look at the composition of it, dehydrated poultry protein, but it doesn't actually tell you what the percentage is. Maize flour, but you'll find with the likes of this here, they, hydrolyzed animal proteins, yeasts, and then they put on things like fructose, oligosaccharides. That's actually meant to be English. And funny, way back whenever I started doing dog food and trying to understand what was in these here many years ago, I actually took my time and went through a lot of these foods. And that one there, that fructose oligosaccharides, that is actually, believe it or not, a artificial sweetener. So it just goes to show you how big brands can use big terms to explain something that's very simple. But like Royal Canin wouldn't want to put artificial sweetener in the back of their bag. You think to yourself, well, with the working dog food, it's bound to be a lot higher carb count than a super premium. You'd expect a super premium to be a very low carb count and sort of bulked up on a lot of meat and stuff they got there. But if you actually break it down, what I have here, I have Whistler's, which is a premium dog food designed for working dogs, sporting dogs. I have Engaged beef. I have James Wellbeloved lamb and rice. I have Red Mull's Leader adult. I have Autarky chicken, and I have Royal Canin mini adult. And the highest carb count there is actually the cheapest food that I actually have on the table here. Well, second because I actually have wet food here as well, but I'm going to get on to that later on. But the Autarky is 67.25% carbs. But you'd expect then for it to run up that line for the next two to be working dog foods as well, but you'd actually be surprised. The next one is actually Leader, which is 58.8% carbs. Then you have the Engage, and the Engage is a working dog food, and it's 57.6%. Then you have James Wellbeloved, which is 55.3%. Then you have Whistler's, which is actually a premium working dog food, which is 52.5% carbs. And with the least amount of carbs is Royal Canin, 50.1%, which is actually the most expensive bag of dog food I have here. The Royal Canin would be around about £13 a bag for 2 kilos. The Leader's probably working out about £10.50 or so for 2 kilo bag. The James Wellbeloved is about £9.50 for 2 kilos. The Autark is about £4.50 per kilo. The Whistler's is £4.99 for 2 kilos, and the Engage is around about £6-7 for 3 kilos. So on the first test, whenever you look at the leftover carbs, then Royal Canin would actually win because it's the lowest amount of carbs in it. But follow close behind that is Whistler's at 52.5, and Whistler's is actually £4.99 a bag, so it's actually nearly a third cheaper. Nearly. Not far off it for the sake of 2%. The next thing you want to look at is the meat content. And whenever you look at the meat content, a lot of them will actually tell you the percentage of meat. And the ones with the most meat in it, I had to take Royal Canin out of the equation because Royal Canin won't, and they probably never will tell you what meat content is actually in the bag. It tells you there's dehydrated chicken protein in it, but it doesn't actually tell you what that is or what way that's broke down or how much is actually in it percentage wise. So whenever I remove that from the equation, then the ones with the most meat content in it is actually the Red Bull's Leader and the Whistler's working dog food, which both have 26% meat content. And then after that, you have the Engage, which is 25% meat content. It actually says in the front of the bag, but it doesn't actually say in the ingredient list, which is quite strange. After that is the James Wellbeloved, which is 23.5%. Then the Autarky, which is 14%. And as I said, Royal Canin doesn't tell you, and they probably never will tell you. But an interesting thing that I done here, we have Pedigree, Senior, Dog Tins and Low, and we have Champion, Breeder Pack, which are, I had a look at them as well, to see what was going on with them in comparison whenever you talk about meat content. Whenever you look at the likes of the wet dog food, most of them will actually tell you in the back of them. If you look at the small print, it might take you a while to find it, but it'll actually tell you the moisture content in them. The moisture content in the Pedigree Senior was 81%, and the moisture content in the Breeder Pack was 79%. So you're talking 80% water is what's in them tins, and the rest is your meat. Whenever you looked at the ingredient list, then it says on it says 42% meat and animal derivatives, including 4% chicken for the Pedigree. But whenever you break that down and remove the water content, then what it actually is about 7.98%. 8% meat is what's in it. So it's actually a hell of a lot lower than the dry foods. The Champion Breeder Pack doesn't actually say how much meat content in it, but as I said, it's 79%. The next thing to look at was the feeding, and how much you had to feed your dog each day. This year you'd sort of expect your super premiums to be a lot more concentrated, so you'd be feeding them a lot less than you would the likes of your working dog brands. But whenever you actually look at it, the two that came on the least there was actually the Autarky and the Royal Canin. The Autarky is 135 grams a day, same as the Royal Canin, feeding a 10 kilo dog. After that there you have your Red Bull's Leader, which is 154 grams a day. Whistler's came in after that at 165 grams, Engage after that 170 grams a day. James Wellbeloved was 190 grams a day. And whenever you look at your tins, if you break it down to grams rather than tins, because some of them are, feed 2 1/4 tins or 1 1/4 tins per day. If you break it down, then the Pedigree Seniors 500 grams and the Champions actually 800 grams a day. Whenever you look at it like that there, it's actually quite surprising, because you would have expected the Autarky, because it's not been doing too well with the likes of the carb count and the meat content, but it's actually telling you to feed basically the same amount as you would in the Royal Canin, yet it's a damn sight cheaper than the Royal Canin. But what does that mean for you? Basically, it's just to give you some kind of insight into what to look out for in dog food, how to analyze dog food, what you're looking for, what you're not looking for. Basically, if you want to break it down, what you're looking for, if you want a half decent dog food, and you don't want to spend an arm and a leg. A lot of places that you go into, on the shelf edge label, it should actually tell you the price per kilo. That's a pretty good way of breaking it down quickly, to tell you how much it's working out at per kilo. It does no harm to go into this and grab a couple of bags and actually sit down and look at the contents of them. Anybody in their right mind should actually let you do that. I know I would have absolutely no bother with it. In actual fact, I'd actually promote it in most cases, because if you're that interested in actually knowing what's in the dog food, it's actually a damn good thing for me, because it shows that you know what you're looking for. Or you want to ask somebody for help. Hopefully they won't try and just push you on to some brand that they're promoting at that time. But hopefully the information in this video was actually giving you some kind of insight as to what to look at, how to look at it, what to stay away from if that's what you're looking for, or even if you want to go and grab the dog food you have in the cupboard, have a look at the bag, see what's actually in it. You do want to see them main things. You want to see the fact that they actually mention what meat's in it, what percentage of the meat's in it, what cereals are in it. You want to look at the likes of your protein and stuff they got there, see what's in it. I wouldn't really expect people to go around and start adding up in their head the sort of carb count, but you get a pretty good idea whenever you look at the ingredient list as to what's in it and how much of it's actually decent stuff. As I said, like the likes of your meat and animal derivatives is one of them things that you might want to stay away from if you're thinking you want to feed a half decent food. But if you're going to the shop and you're looking at brands that are all clumped together and they're all meant to be sort of medium range brands, but one of the bags is 20 quid and the other bag's 10 quid, at least now you have a wee bit of knowledge where you can actually look at the ingredients and turn around and go, well, which one's best value for me, based on the ingredients. If you enjoyed this video, if you found it useful, if you find it complete gibberish, why not leave a comment and let me know. I'll certainly try better next time. If there's anything I've touched on you would like me to expand more on, then by all means leave a comment about that. And I hope you have a great time. Have fun hunting for decent dog food. Peace.